You're probably doing the content bit, you're probably engaging with people, trying to get the branding bit right, you're probably even working on your messaging and things like that, and you're still thinking, well, why? Come on, why am I not getting any kind of conversion here? Well, actually, it's because there's a couple of things you're missing, and those things are the actual reason why your audience aren't quite keen on making the jump yet. So let's look firstly at really what's happening in their heads. What they're seeing is potentially what we would call their expert. Their expert is the person that they emotionally feel is just their person to solve their problems, not a person to solve their problems. If you can't get this bit right, they'll just pass you by and you'll just, in their heads, appear like the next guy. So if I appear like just someone who, for instance, can help you convert clients on LinkedIn, just like the next guy, it's not enough anymore. The reason why is because they have choice. So what we want to do instead is say to ourselves, well, how do we look like someone that they would want? And the difference here is about your awareness for what they're really going through. Now, one of the things you might have heard of is this concept of appealing to pain points, right? So a pain point is what some people lose sleep over. The thing about a pain point is, oh, if I solve this for someone, well, then they'll feel great and want to buy from us. It doesn't work like that, because people, you and I included, are quite happy to tolerate problems and pain. We're happy to tolerate them because it's not worth the effort to change them. However, what's really important is if you look beyond the pain points to frustrations, things that really irritate them and frustrate them, now you're talking. Look at me as an example, right? You have this issue of people who have content, they can't convert from their content. Really, deep down, they don't need help with better content. They know deep down they might be able to improve it slightly, but the real movement and the real win for me is when I talk about the real frustration they have, which is actually no one is converting. You know, they're getting the messages. I'm aware of that. They're getting even people asking them questions. I'm aware of that. But what they're not getting is that conversion. What do they say? Richard, what do I say when they say this? Richard, what do I say when they look at my profile? And the question I have to ask myself always is, am I showing a level of awareness for what their real frustration is? When I show that awareness, suddenly I'm the guy that's relatable. I become their expert because they're thinking to themselves, this person gets it. That's the thing I feel. That's so annoying. And if I could just fix that, that would feel better. Otherwise, I'm just sounding like everyone else who's a bit of a generic generalist, and the problem is I'm just, fixing the same old problems. So think to yourself, and here's how you do it. What level of awareness have I got? Have I got the deep enough awareness that I can really tap into what's really frustrating them, and I need to speak to that? So that's one really crucial thing. But the other big one, the thing I notice a lot, is that there's a lack of clarity, not necessarily in what you serve people with, so the kind of solutions you provide and so on, but for whom. So what we need to be thinking is, what is the ideal person that I'm targeting? And it's not good enough to just give the job title or the type of industry or even the kind of person they tend to be and say, I target entrepreneurs, I help coaches, whatever. Try and go deeper in your messaging. Try and go deeper in your content. Talk about the kind of personality or the kind of situation someone's going through. Then it will feel more tuned in to that individual. Suddenly they'll be thinking, do you know what? This person's speaking to me. The clarity will be there. Richard's clearly talking to me. That sounds like me. And then they'll zoom in and they'll focus on your content more than anyone else's, because you're clearly talking to not just people like them, not just the kind of job title, but it's the kind of person they are. Are they more the engineering mind? Are they more a progressive thinker? Are they the kind of person who's an overthinker? Are they an introvert? Whatever it might be. What about these little descriptors? Write down 5 or 6 ideas of what would really describe the kind of people you tend to get the best results from. And if you get that right, you'll start hitting the nail on the head, because they'll start going, I just feel this is me. These things really stand out a lot. So firstly, we're talking about the frustrations. That will make them think, yeah, that's what I'm going through. Second, we're starting to really bring out the fact that it's them specifically we're speaking to, so they'll know it's them. What's more important than all of this is when they show any interest, you need to not get too excited. You can't jump all over them and try and pivot them out to your onboarding call right away. I know know you're keen, and I know you maybe haven't had many leads, and I know you want to close them right away. But what matters far more is you take your time, you bring them in a little bit gentler than that, be a little bit more subtle. This is a fragile moment. This person has just started to show a bit of interest. So what we need to be saying to ourselves is, how can I just gently step them forward? Thank them for paying some attention to you first. That's crucial. Acknowledge that they stepped in your direction. Then ask them, how it's going, like how the thing you could help with is performing for them at the moment in their world. Then you can see where they may be struggling, and now we want to move them into maybe asking them what they feel they need to improve. From there, of course, the pivot is much more realistic. These two things really are huge, and it's a massive reason why people are missing the mark despite the right people potentially paying some attention to their content. So instead of just banging out more content, instead of trying to get more reach, go a bit deeper. This level of sophistication is really what high ticket selling looks like, because ultimately the buyer's really going to want to hear, or feel even better, that they are being addressed directly. And when it feels like that, it feels also like you're paying them the kind of attention they need if they're going to go that far and spend a lot of money with you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd be really interested in if this is the kind of thing you're doing, and which of these 3 tips has really stood out for you. See you on the next video.